Hey guys, it's Calvin, otherwise known as Romer, and this is my E3 recap, or at least the first part of my E3 recap. I've been watching a bunch of people's videos and they're very good. In fact, Pro Jared's videos, I'm actually going to link them down below because they're actually pretty fantastic in recapping each presentation individually. But since there's so many of those out there, I didn't really want to do that today. I wanted to instead talk about the stuff that interested me only. I didn't want to talk about the negatives. I don't usually like doing that when I'm talking about conferences because I like the conferences even when they're bad. I think, and to me so far, there hasn't really been a bad conference. There's been a few questionable things like, I don't know why Bethesda even had a conference. I think they should have done something maybe like a direct, which they kind of did that, but they had it on a stage. Maybe it had the reasons. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to judge, I should say, but let's get into the recap. First off, I want to start off by saying that I have the utmost respect for every single person that got up there and spoke over the past couple of days, and of course I'm going to be doing more after this as well. I still have Sony, Ubisoft and PC to talk about, and Nintendo, but I have so much respect for anyone who gets up on stage and talks in front of that many people, because they're not only talking in front of fans, they're talking in front of peers. Like Xbox had to go up, like Phil Spencer had to go up the other day and talk in front of Sony people. Sony people were watching. He had to talk in front of fans, he had to talk in front of peers, in front of board of directors, in front of shareholders. It can't be easy, and everyone who spoke did a great job. I know there's a lot of people making fun of those people on the internet. What I have to say is, if we had to do it, we would crumble. If we had to do it, we would crumble. A lot of people saying it was cringe, but honestly, try not to be cringe when you're standing in front of that many people. It's probably pretty difficult. So starting off with EA, I think all of the stuff in EA is kind of interesting to sports fans, and I think that it's really cool what they're doing for sports fans. It is a very multiplayer-oriented conference. But for me, EA's biggest thing for me was A Way Out. This is from the creator of Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which is a game I never played. I have it, I own it on the PlayStation Store because it was free with not free, but it was with PS Plus one day. I thought this game was actually innovative. Now here's the thing, games don't need to be innovative, they can be the same over and over again as long as they're still fun. I don't mind, as long as I'm still having fun with them and they're not stale, it's fine. But to see a game that in 2017 actually found something completely different to do, having, a split screen co-op for couch co-op, and having you be in like a laundry room and the other person being like in a cutscene. It's insane to me how like you can be in two parts of the prisons at once, you can be two parts of a forest at once, you can be talking to your daughter while the other person's talking to his wife. It's just like this insane thing that I have never seen before, and the guy's enthusiasm was infectious, and I really did like this. I don't mean to insult any EA fans, because I'm not going to do that, because I honestly think that it was a great conference. I think that they kept everything short, they kind of bundled everything together and made everything very interesting. Even watching Star Wars Battlefront was pretty fucking cool. Like, I cannot wait to play that. I'll probably play when it goes on sale, because I'm not that into multiplayer shooters as I am. The only one I'm really into is Destiny, but that's just because I have lots of friends that play Destiny. Talking about Microsoft, I just think this was also a pretty good conference. A lot of people are debating whether this one is better or the EA one is better, and to be honest, I don't think it matters too much. I think it's all selective. I think if it's a great time to be a console-oriented gamer, I hate that word, gamer. No one who watches movies is a movier, What I have to say though is, I think 500 is something that I'm not willing to buy right now, 500 for a console. But I know people are going to explain to me why it's a great price, and that's fine, I understand that. But for me, I'm not going to be buying the Xbox One X, and it's called the Xbox One X, which is kind of hard to say. Kind of sounds like Xbox One S sometimes when you're saying it, and that might be just how they were saying it on stage, but Xbox One S, X, XS, kind of sounds similar. I don't think it's going to cause too much confusion. The console actually looks great itself, and the actual power of it and how it was able to run games actually is pretty impressive, and I was actually impressed. I was impressed with the way they were able to do this, and the fact that they're updating games as well for the console also makes me really happy for people who own Xbox games already. Next up is Dragon Ball FighterZ, or Dragon Ball FighterZ. I love fighting games, as I've kind of revealed over the past few weeks, and this, out of all the fighting games I've seen for trailers, was a really good trailer. They basically said, instead of just showing like, this is the end of this story, or this is the story of this, like, they're basically like, do you want to have fun with a fighting game, 3 versus 3 fighting game? I really liked it. I think I might get it. It looks like a lot of fun. It looks like a lot of fun. I've never watched a Dragon Ball Z episode in my life. I think I saw like 5 minutes when I was younger and got weirded out by like this green dude or something like that. I forget what his name is, but it was terrifying, It was terrifying. Super Lucky's Tale. Super Lucky's Tale is another thing that I didn't expect to be pretty happy with. At first, everyone thought it was Conker's Bad Fur Day, and I think people were ready to get really annoyed. But thank God that they saved that by saying it's not Conker's, it's just another 3D platformer. And I love the people that are trying. They're trying to bring back that genre. But for me, my reason for that genre dying out, and people keep saying it's dying, it's dead. It died. It died long ago, but like people are trying to bring it back. For me, the reason why that genre died wasn't because it was oversaturation. It was because there was so many games. Like, cause here's the thing: if there was like another game at the parallel or that had the power of Banjo-Kazooie and was good as Banjo-Kazooie, or was good as Spyro 2 or Spyro 1 or Spyro 3, if there was games like that that kept coming out that were that good, no one would be saying that it was getting oversaturated. But the thing is, there were so many bad games. They made so many bad Spyro and Crash games. That's what kind of made. I'm not going to go into this, but this is why I think that people were kind of unhappy that it might have been Conker getting a 3D platformer. Up next is Bethesda. Again, this, I don't know why they had to have a conference. And here's the thing: I love Bethesda, and I've always here's the thing. Like I said, here's the thing twice. Don't worry about it. Every time that I play a Bethesda game, I'm always happy. I'm always happy by the end of it. Even though that at the end, like with Skyrim, I've done so much, and I played through that in full 3 times. I've done all the side clans and all the guilds and all like that. But still, I come out of it going like that wasn't perfect. That wasn't even near a 10. But Jesus Christ, I had so much fun with it. And that's just how I feel about Bethesda games. And with this lineup, I think it's actually pretty good. I think it's actually a really good lineup. In fact, I think it's a fantastic lineup. But I think they could have done this with just a couple of trailers and kind of do the Bethesda Land thing they did, but just have the actual, just have the actual conference be just a Nintendo Direct type thing. So first off, Skyrim on the Switch. This was I don't want to talk about negatives, but the Master Sword looked really cool. The Master Sword looked fantastic, but what I will have to say is, because my channel kind of centers around Zelda in some way, shape, or form all the time, I think that the outfit looks cool. But it also looks really awkward. It looks like someone modded it in, and I think that's what happened. I think they used a mod for Breath of the Wild. I don't know how you guys feel about amiibo functionality in the game. To me, the outfit looks out of place, and I think I think they're trying to sell Skyrim by... I think this is their way of saying you have to buy Skyrim now, Zelda fans. You have to get it now. And I can tell there's going to be a lot of really, not cheap, but a lot of Skyrim runs of full Skyrim playthroughs on Zelda channels. Just only Master Sword playthrough, and which is, oh, that's not a bad idea, guys. I'd watch that, I think. Let's move on to the VR section. So we had Fallout VR and Doom VFR? Very virtual fucking reality, maybe? I don't know what the actual fucking word means. The F, I don't know what it means. But this is really cool. This is Resident Evil 7 was the only game that you could play which was a AAA title. Playing the full Fallout 4 in VR is fantastic. I don't know if it's coming to Sony PSVR, but I think if they keep building up titles like this for the VR systems, I think people are going to have to turn their heads and look at VR. And I think Fallout and Doom are 2 very good games for that. Now, people are getting motion sickness from playing these games. Will they get motion sickness playing Doom? Probably. They're probably going to vomit everywhere. But I think this is really cool. And lastly, the last thing that interested me in this whole conference, and so far at E3, Evil Within 2. Now, for all of my friends, they know that I loved Evil Within 1. I think it's a return to form. It's basically, to me, it's a mixture of Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 2. I love it. I love Evil Within 1, and I think I'm going to love Evil Within 2. Just judging the trailer, great song choice, a Duran Duran song, great visuals. The gameplay looks great. They did this thing where they realized, that CGI isn't always the way to go about it. And at first we were yeah, it looks fantastic. The CGI looks great, but it's not gameplay. And you turn away for a second and you turn back, and then there's this gameplay sequence that looks fucking awesome. Reminds me a lot of, it reminds you it's very Shinji Mikami, the director. It's very him. It's very I tried this thing first. Now, this is more of an action-y game, and he always does that. His second title is always more of an action-y game, and I'm talking about from Resident Evil 1 to Resident Evil 4. That big gap. But yeah, Evil Within 2, following around the main character again. Kidman was in the video as well, and it seems to be all about Sebastian's daughter. I cannot wait to play this. I'm so excited. Friday the 13th October, I will be playing that in full here on this channel. But I think I'm also just going to be falling in love with that game, because some of you might not know, but I started this channel with that. The Evil Within. It's such a good game. Such a good game. And I'm really excited about this. So overall, so far, E3 is fucking awesome. I actually think it's pretty cool. I like it. A lot of people are complaining, but I think that's just because last year's and the year before's conferences held up a high standard. But what we have to remember, I think, is that these are conferences with human beings doing the conferences. Can you imagine how you'd feel if you were going out on stage and you realize that you didn't have as much as last year? And sometimes it just happens. Like, you can't have bombshell announcements every year, because eventually if you keep having like spectacular announcements every year, keeping track of those things to come out is probably pretty fucking difficult, and it's going to become hard. That's why I think this year, my prediction for Sony is that they're going to do less massive announcements and more just updates on other games maybe. But then again, it's Sony, so they're probably going to announce 12 remasters. Don't say I'm hating Sony. I have a Sony console and I want those remasters. Give me Shenmue HD right now, please, so I can play it for the first time. Thank you guys for watching this, and I will see you very soon.